start by twisting the core drill gently. And I'm twisting it with my right hand and I'm feeling it with my left hand so that I can feel that it's going through and not coming too close to the edge. It's starting to come out on the other side. Again, I keep twisting. I'll remove some of the material. Now I'm going to go in through the other side and come out through this end. And I can remove, again, the material that gets trapped or loosen it with a blower. I do this 1 or 2 times. Make sure enough material has been removed so that I can get the tubing through easily. Now I have the tubing ready. I'm going to remove the core drill and quickly insert the tubing. You want to be fairly quick about this because when you remove the core drill, the hole will start to collapse. I pull it through, and before I'm almost finished pulling it through, I'm going to put a drop of glue. I actually use the material that's going to be used later on in the process as a glue. And finish pulling it through. I can wipe off any excess. Now I'm going to cut off the excess tubing at this point, but I'm going to do it in a special way. I hold this with one hand. I have the scissor here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to be pulling in this direction a little bit and then quickly cut. The reason for it is that the tubing will be stretched out, and then as soon as it's cut, it will snap back in so that the tubing will be below the surface of the end of the mold. In other words, there won't be any tubing sticking out. Okay. I'm now going to finish this mold by coating it. And we coat this with ADCOMOLD, which is the manufacturer's material. And we start doing it at the end. You want fairly good light when you do this. The material also comes with a thinner. As you work with it, it will get thicker and thicker, and you eventually get to a point where it becomes too thick and becomes difficult to apply. If that happens, simply add some thinner. The thinner it is, the faster you can coat the mold with it. Going all around, making sure it's all coated. Now I'm going to coat the outside. You can just quickly inspect that. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put it on this crochet needle, which I'm going to be using later on, and let it dry. I use the lamp as a source of heat, and that will let it dry faster. Actually let this dry for 15 minutes. While that's happening, I'm going to process this other one, this will actually become a full style, a full shell style. So I'm going to begin by cutting the tip off this. At the very end. And I'm going to smooth that out with the Dremel. So that that edge is nice and rounded.
Okay, don't.
We're now going to resume where we left off. What I had done was I've coated this one, but before coating I've drilled it out and I've inserted the tubing. And again, this is a shell style mold, and this is a canal style mold for the same individual. What I'm going to do now, which is the final step in the procedure, is I'm going to vent this mold. You might ask, why on earth would you want to vent a mold for somebody who's profoundly hearing impaired? I found from experience fitting people with corner audiograms with this mold that when they are new, they fit so perfectly that people find the sound very uncomfortable. They're not used to hearing with a completely sealed mold. So even in the case of somebody with a very profound hearing loss, corner audiogram, for anyone, I find it necessary to vent the mold. I use a pressure vent, and I'm going to show you what that's all about. I began by looking at the tip of the mold. Remember before I was talking about when drilling out the mold with the core drill, not to drill in the exact center, but to kind of shift it a little bit off center toward the top of the mold. The reason for that was that so we would have plenty of room to put a vent in. And I start the vent by using this awl. It's just a pointed, small pointed tool. I'm going to start it like that. And we're going to finish drilling it with the Dremel. And I have a number 60 drill. I'm going to make sure that the drill is long enough so that it will come through the outer part of the mold easily. Okay. I remove this, I insert the drill. Now, the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to put my finger over the spot where I would like the drill to come out. And this is just a little hint that you can use. It makes it very, very much easier. And I'm going to start the drill. And again, kind of mentally aim it. And you can see that that's come out where I had my finger. It makes drilling the vent very, very easy. I'm going to remove that. Okay. Now, this vent that's been drilled will immediately collapse because the material is still soft. In order to keep it open, I'm going to insert some material. This is wool, polyester wool. And this happens to be 4-ply wool. I'm going to take one strand of this. This is a crochet needle that's used for very, very fine work. It's used for making lace. This happens to be a number 9. There are even smaller ones. And I'm going to begin by inserting this at the outer part of the mold, the part where the tubing comes out. And again, I'm going to twist this. I'm going to put my finger over the outer part, the inner part actually, and twist it until the crochet needle comes through. I'm going to hook this on pull it through. I now have the wool through. Let me take a scissor. I'm going to pull on that slightly and give me a nice clean cut. I'm going to pull it through so that it's just sticking out a tiny, tiny little bit. And I'm going to go to the other end. I'm going to pull gently and cut. Again, it's sticking out at this end just a tiny, tiny little bit. This will keep the narrow vent channel open. It just allows enough of the air pressure to escape so that the mold will feel comfortable, but not so much that it will result in any feedback. We're now ready for in the interim, I invented and inserted the mold. We're first going to start by inserting the canal mold. I begin by putting a little bit of Vaseline on this. That. Okay, and you can see the way that fits. It just comes to the outer portion of the canal. Now, this is fitting fairly snugly. The reason, again, because of the property of the material, when the impression was taken, as it entered the ear canal, as it comes out of the syringe, it expands, ensuring a very, very tight fit. But because it's semi-liquid, the pressures that build up are distributed uniformly. So you don't get buildup of pressure in one particular spot, resulting in irritation. The hearing aid would then be placed over the ear, and the tubing would be cut. I'm now going to insert the shell mold, again applying Vaseline. And with this type of mold, this would provide better retention. All the way. Again, you can see you're getting good registration all the way around, and that's really in there. Again, the tubing would be cut to the appropriate size. Some clients have reported during the first day a slight burning sensation, but this passes and doesn't exist in the second day. I also tell our clients that they should wear the hearing aid for the rest of the day, since it still continues to set somewhat.